I first came down here in 1991. It was my transition from Screen Sport. Do you remember Screen Sport, European Sports Network? Yeah. So in between Screen Sport and Sky Sports, came down here with the sports guys, and literally it was completely green, fairly young, I knew nothing, and just went, oh, okay, I get it. TV buying and selling market in the middle of a beach in Cannes, in a tent. And I was like, what's wrong with that, you know? And if you look back to those times, I was so raw and green. I probably, if I'm honest, I don't think I even knew the mechanics of how telly got made, because when you're junior and raw, you know, you're literally making the tea and coffee, making a promo, holding a camera, carrying someone's bag. You don't actually put it together. Yeah. And I think that MIP, I kind of went, oh, and it gives you, you stand back a bit, as well as obviously in between the beers and the champagnes and the wines, you stand back a bit and you go, distribution, production, distribution, sales, long tail, and it kind of clicked. And it was brilliant, brilliant start for me. And then back in '93, when I took the job at Turner Broadcasting, so director of programming, and started, you know, Cartoon Network with Turner, and that's when it really sort of took off, you know. And obviously Turner was already established down in the bunker because we were selling, distributing the Hanna-Barbera library, and then Cartoon Network came along, and everything changed. So that was the start for me. There was a guy at Screen Sport called Nigel Haunch, who was the boss there, and he was very patient with me. Good guy. He kind of explained the business, and I liked him. I would say in my sort of kids' TV career, you've got to look to people like Nigel Pickard, definitely. My God, yeah, Nigel Pickard. The decency of Michael Carrington at the BBC, who was a very different business to ours. You know, we were kind of the new kids off the block. And then I think it was just sort of my industry peers who we were all starting that cable and satellite world and the kids business. So, you know, myself, Howard Litton, Tina McCann, people like that. And we all got together and we're like, you know, there's Nickelodeon, there's Cartoon Network, there's Disney, and we're all here figuring this all out for ourselves. There's a real sense of camaraderie. Seen a lot of changes in terms of where the focus of the industry has been. So traditional production, pitching, buying, selling in the Palais, totally fine. That's sort of never changed. That's kind of a constant. What we've seen is pockets growing up here and there, like the explosion of the kids business and just being thousands and thousands of people with projects and ideas and the vibrancy of that back in the day. Clearly the industry took a little bit of a hit and there was some rationalisation, so there's less people. So one change I would say is, yeah, tons of people pitching, very creative, very entrepreneurial. There's not enough room for everybody. So it was a bit sad because we had to turn down a lot of projects. And of course, you're trying to run a business, but you're trying to be creative. So I think that was one change, massive explosion of creativity. It's honed down a bit to more sensible business focused. You've got Hasbro, you've got a toy company, and our CEO, Brian Goldner, said, you know what? I want to be more control of our own destiny. You know, creating great content based on our brands, make great shows, expose those to audiences on TV, which obviously is going to lead to greater awareness and exposure of your brands, and therefore the ancillary business of merchandising and licensing and apps and the digital world and gaming. So it's like one big long chain. So Brian we call it a branded play company. I call it an entertainment company. You know, you make shows, have a studio, make shows, sell your shows to your key broadcasters around the world. They treat your shows right, they like the shows, they get ratings, we get advertising, you get, you know, as I say, the merchandising and the licensing. So again, it's all just one big happy family of what I call content creation and content exposure. First one, and this is a great example of when the industry was so competitive that literally running from the Palais to a boat got me a deal. Really liked the show. We were strategically moving forward in that direction of that particular genre of show. Everyone was talking about it. I knew there was two companies really interested in it. I went to my meeting with the guy on his boat. Lovely, they had a boat. Sat there, cup of coffee, said, I want this show, and here's what I'm offering you. And I put, you know, a deal on the table, literally. I said, I'll pay you that, worldwide, boom, 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 that's the deal. The guy was like, you're actually offering me this right now? He said, I went, yeah. And I said, and you got about 4 hours. Went back in the Palais, came to my meeting. The guy called me back. He said, Finn, can you actually get here in the next 5 minutes? And I said, yeah, sure, why? He said, I think I'm going to do it, but the other guys are coming. And I went, this is literally like you want me to run back and sign it before the other guys turn up. And I went, yeah. I said, you know what? I'm up for it. And I did it. It's ridiculous.
Fantastic.
But isn't that ridiculous now? What that shows is that back in the day, people were making decisions right there and then. Yeah. Different world we live in now, different economics, different return on investment, different you know, you got to be careful now. But that was great. That was a story of like real entrepreneurial spirit. I want it. We're going to do it. Closed it. That's great. And that was a really good reflection on the company that we were allowed to do that. Second anecdote. John Reynolds from Miller Marge, myself, Howard Litton from Nickelodeon, and Michael Shields, ex-BBC, and we turn up in the Martinez at midnight, fully dressed in kilts, ending up round the piano at 5 a.m, playing the piano, singing songs in our kilts, mayhem. But brilliant, you know, and testament again to the whole industry. We love it, it's so vibrant, you talk to people, yes, you have a few drinks, but everybody went to bed, you're back on the stand at 9 o'clock doing business, and that's what I really like about the industry. You can have some fun, you get business done.